Okay. Well, looks like we're getting to go here. See if we've got everything all kind of set up here. Hello, everybody. This is Mike Kilgore coming to you Sunday, the 14th, and we are starting something kind of different, something kind of new, and hopefully you might find some value to this. And it's a Trident week in review. And basically, what I'm going to do is go through the uh, post and those things that are put onto Trident Protects Contractors Only Facebook group and answer some of those questions. And this is very relaxed, very chill, right? And what's up, Joshua? Looks like you guys are getting ready for the huge coming up, and this is going to be a lot of squirrels and things like that, where it's kind of a casual conversation about what's been going on inside of the Facebook group and maybe answer some questions, tie some things together. But more importantly, um, I'm wanting to kind of do this every week. And sometimes it'll be on Saturday, sometimes it'll be on Sunday, sometimes it'll be on Monday. I know I'm taking some time away from the weekend that's here, but this is also very important. Plus, all my kids are asleep right now anyway. So my wife's having coffee, and I'm in the other room just kind of hanging out. But we just want to kind of go through some of the topics that are here and just see where it kind of takes us. You can also put stuff inside of the comments there if you've got any questions along the way. And let's just kind of get started. So, right now, currently, you're seeing our Facebook, or actually our website right now. And I'm going to check back over every once in a while into the messages. But when I'm looking at these pages here, the actual comment section kind of goes away for me a little bit. But here we are on the website. I just wanted to point out a couple of things real quick for those people that may be joining us that are really new. Feel free to join us here on the tridentprotects.com page. Really important. When you get in, you're going to see a login to or to create an account. Create an account. It's free. It doesn't cost anything, and it allows you to be able to log in and see pricing and all kinds of information. But the one area that I really like to point out to everybody, it's just a simple area. There's two of them here. Is the pros for the pros. When you click on for the pros and go to resource library, that's number one. That's going to take you to an area inside this website here that has all the technical data sheets. As you can see, we have them both in English and in Spanish. Inside of the safety data sheets that are here, both English and in Spanish. And then it kind of gets really cool after that. You've got the technical bulletin, the art of a flood coat, understanding sealer types, getting it right the first time, performing a sealer pre-test. Weather can affect outcome, stabilizing sealer versus polymeric sand. As you can see, we're adding into those technical bulletins. But then as you get into the sales sheet and marketing, you're going to see all of the sales sheets for every single one of the products that we have here, including not as much the cleaners, but as far as the sealers, the sprayers, the rock solid maintenance and schedule plan, that's huge. Cleaner selection guide. Sealer selection guide, Trident owner's guide, and contractor's guides. Those are things that you can, especially the owner's guide, that's something that you can give to your customers. And then we also have a very helpful video library that's been put together that has 4 steps of surface restoration with Trident, overall cleaning with white water, wipeout, riptide and tidal wave, point break, safety harbor, how to do a flood coat and squeegee application for joint stabilization. Here's probably the most viewed video inside of our website is how to mix and dilute Hurricane Cat 5. So it's a really important link that's there that shows a video that shows you how to make the D1 and the D2 mix ratios. So just wanted to kind of give you that area. And then the other area, which we'll also talk a little bit more, then we're going to dive right in here, is the for the pros. And if you go to the T3 University, that T3 University is a really, really important part of our projects and what we're trying to accomplish here. There's actually a introduction to sealing class on demand class that's right here. So if you can click on the click here, then you're going to go to a page. Let's see if it goes to the page here that has the intro to cleaning or intro to paver sealing and getting in with Trident. It's broken down into 6 videos, 5, 6 videos. And at the end, there's a 30-question quiz that you can receive a participation certificate that's there. So if you go back to the T3 page that's there, it's the introduction to sealing. You can see the upcoming trainings. I need to clean those up here a little bit. We've had a few of them go by. We just had that super clean machine in-person training there with Martin, and we're going to go over that here in just a little bit. But we do have an intensive training that's coming up in Charlotte on the 25th, which is a Thursday. Now, some of the people that have registered for that event, I sent out a text and it said the 26th. It is Thursday the 25th. There in Charlotte. It's an intensive training where we're going to clean and sand, and we're going to do the classroom setting for about 4 hours, and then we're going to seal some different areas of pavers that have already been prepped. So that way we can kind of show you the 2-day process and in a 1-day setting. And then if you're new and you're looking to kind of have a, where do I start from? Where do I raise my hand? September 1st is the next free online intro to sealing live online. September 1st, Lonnie's going to be out in Houston, Texas. That's there. Martin's going to be up in Rochester. And then I'm going to be in Panama City Beach on September 14th. Martin and our new sales manager, Brad, will be in Manassas. I'll be in Georgia on September the 16th. And then we start kind of the Florida swing at that point, which is in Jacksonville the 20th. But as you can see, we have a lot of training. All the trainings this month here are free. So if you find a training that you see that's on here and you want to go to it, click on it. Once you've clicked on it, you'll see. Go ahead and get registered. Get yourself reserved into that event so we can see you there. So let's go back to good old Facebook and let's get started. Let me check back in on my messages here and see if anybody said hello. Anybody that's online, by all means, just pop in there and say, hey, I'm here. I'm not expecting a whole lot of people, first of all, at 9 o'clock in the morning on a Sunday. So by all means, let me see here. I assume I'm getting good connection. Yep, says like I'm getting decent connection. If I'm getting a little bit of wobbling, let me know. But again, I'm not expecting a whole ton of people to be on here at 9:09 in the morning. But I do want to do this. We are going to keep this on this page so that you can review it. Anyway, here we are. Well, currently we're sitting at 2,900 and something odd members. That's looking pretty good. I think about a year ago, at 1,400 members. So we've got quite a few more people that have taken some interest into the Trident Protects Contractors Only group. And I tell you, it's amazing watching you guys help each other out, working with each other, and solving problems. We hope to be a part of that. But sometimes it's just good to hear it from another contractor. And that's what's important about this group is I've got a problem, I'm posting. And the wealth of knowledge that these contractors have is amazing. They help out each other. They they want to help each other, or everybody wants to help each other, and fundamentally we truly believe that in this industry that's what we have customers that are looking for someone to come solve their problems, but in the same point we want to have the support from our fellow contractors as well as the manufacturer of our sealants, and we really pride ourselves on being able to to help out as much as we possibly can, but we're not always there. So this is an opportunity for you to jump into the there, post up a question, and get some answers. So let's kind of get started here, and we're going to, as you can see, there's my Facebook Live going on right now. I'm seeing it, so I guess I don't have to review that because that's actually what we're doing. So, all right, make sure if you do come in here, hit that like button just so that we know that you came by. So let's start off, and we're going to why don't we work up to today? Because sometimes there's some things that fall in order. Like I said, there's really no. I feel like I'm talking like Bob Ross. Happy little trees. Let's start. Let's go a little further. Let's get on down here. Oh, there's some good ones here. Some good juicy posts that we want to talk about for sure. Let's start around. Let's start here. Let's see what we got here. So let's start with Tyler's post, August 9th, and we're going to work our way up from there. That doesn't mean we're going to stop on every single post that's there, but I'm really trying to condense this down into a 30-minute to maybe an hour long at most. But let's look at Tyler's post here. Just a few pictures, but it's all over the pavers, at efflow or a paint, just our pavers themselves. We cleaned this and saw a few areas. Came back. They want it sealed. It came back. This year, it really appears to me like we're dealing. Oh, shoot. Got a little excited there. Hit the button. There it is. It really does look like to me that there's a combination of a couple of things going on here. Let's open this up. Looks like we've got some spots that are coming through here. Also, the way in which the pavers may have been stacked. I think Sean mentioned a little bit of that there. But it does look like you've got some efflow that's coming through. More than likely, when I see things like this, so when somebody sends me a picture, the first thing I'm doing is looking at the pavers. But the second thing is I'm looking for the things that you don't see or that you don't know. For instance, right up in here, yes, there's a chair. Looks like part of an outdoor grill area. We have a mat that's here. But what this is telling me is more than likely this is on some kind of deck, and we're probably over concrete. High probability of that. So in this area here, we're looking at it could possibly be some efflow spots that are coming up and coming through. You can see them that are right here. Unfortunately, there is absolutely no way of preventing efflow. Like, it doesn't just get prevented. But what we can do is we can clean it. And by sealing, especially with a really good breathable sealer in the future, that efflow, as it releases and comes up and goes through the sealer and sits up on top of it, you're going to be able to clean it, especially with something like Cat 5, or all of our sealers are breathable sealers at Trident. So basically what I would do is, in this scenario, when someone posts a picture, what's very helpful is not only showing it when it's dry and you're showing it that's here, but also taking some water and getting really close to a white area. So let's say, for instance, let's pick on this area here. If you're going to post a picture inside the group here, make sure you grab some of that water, even some of the water from the pool, and just throw it on it and show the before and after of that white. Majority of the time, a quick test to determine whether or not it is a efflow or if it is a sealer is that when you put water on it and you get right down into it and take a look at it, it's going to disappear flow completely. But if it's failed sealer, you're still going to see the white flakes that are in it. It's going to reduce because of the water, but you're going to be able to see inside of it. So I can't tell you that's 100% always the case, but I can tell you that majority of the time that's what's going to what it's going to be. So what I would suggest doing is doing a little bit of an FLO test on there. I would probably run a little bit lighter. I would probably be in perspective. I probably would be close to around a 4-to-1, maybe 8-to-1. Damp the surface down, put a little bit of white water onto it, let it dwell, let it collapse, put a little bit more on it, let it dwell. When we talk about, we mean that the chemical is working, it's going to fizz up, but when that fizzing doesn't completely stop, but majority of it, and then put it on again, give it a scrub and give it a rinse. Then you could probably pull out a leaf blower because you're just doing a test and try to dry it a little bit just to see if it's coming back. And at that point, you're going to know for a fact whether or not you've got FLO or if you've got stripper now, or if you've got sealer. Another way to test is a great way is to take some FLO with you and mix up a dilution of it that's there, a light dilution, put it on, see if it's fizzing up. And we're talking like um, violently fizzing up, but you can also take some stripper and find another spot and put a little bit of stripper down. There's nothing wrong with doing field tests. Basically what we're going to tell you when you call in, are you doing a field test? And that's why that magic bag is so important, is because we want that field test to be able to determine what we're getting ready to get into. I can't tell you how many contractors call me up and go, oh my gosh, what was this is not that, and now I'm losing money. If you do the field test prior, you're not going to get into it until you get to the point where you understand that by sight we need to go through the field test. So let's see here. So let me close this down here. We're going to go to the next post here. See what we got. Just got my weekly report from my phone here that says your screen time was up 24%. Busy week. All right, so let's scroll on up here. What do we got here? All right, this is Lonnie posting up his event here in Houston, Texas, paver restoration training September 1st. We're going to be in coordination there with Heath Phelps there. Make sure that you click on that link that's here, I believe. You can see the little things here. Click on that and get registered, or obviously reach out to Lonnie. It's really good to just kind of touch base with him too. So let's go to our next one. Jeff May, does anybody have info on the wet sanding broom? I believe I saw a post in this group. I know that Mike Arnone has used it, and as you can see here, Sean tagged Mike on this. There is a video here of the hydro broom. It's actually really kind of a cool broom. I've seen some different modifications of different stuff throughout the years, but this is actually, it's almost as if you were to take a window washing broom with, you know, in theory that the water is going up into the broom and watering down, so it's allowing you to move that sand maybe a little bit more controlled. I think those guys that are new to wet sanding, this could be a really good option to be able to moving that sand around and then rinsing it off. I know that one of the struggling points for wet sanding is that, wow, man, when I do this, it blows it out all over the place. This could kind of curve that a little and let you be able to do some wet sanding. You're still going to have to rinse off the excess whenever you're doing wet sanding. Right. What else do we have here? Lonnie has got his TikTok there. If you want to see him dancing around and doing he does some great TikToks that are inside there. I'm kidding. He's got some really cool stuff that goes on inside there, and also the Instagram that's there. Let's go on up here. Does anyone have any information on Trident doing a class demo in Virginia soon? This is Carnoa pressure washing. Martin obviously jumped in here and said that on September the 14th, we're going to be up in Manassas area of Virginia. So you're going to have Martin and Brad up in that area. That's there. We're going to talk about Brad here in a little bit. And there is the Virginia restoration class. I think he just posted it up here above here. It's going to be a combination with Solomon Crews and Diamond Power Washers there, and we'll be doing the free paver restoration training in Manassas. So make sure that if you're up in that area, even if you're an hour away, I mean, I can't tell you how many times, and I know I say this a lot, that I have contractors that will call and say, "Oh, wow, that training is 30 minutes away. Oh, that training is 10 minutes away, or it's not convenient for me to be able to go to that training." That's okay. I understand, but we have to pick a place, and if you're looking to get into the paver sealing game, it's going to require a little bit of planning, a little bit of sacrifice, and you're going to have to take a day off to set yourself up to be successful from here on out. And come in, invest in your education, invest in your equipment, invest in your business by coming to one of our trainings. I promise you, you will leave that training with tons of knowledge. And those people that have been to some of the live trainings will attest that there's two major goals when it comes down to training for us. Number one, we want you to get done with the training and say to yourself, holy cow, I absolutely had no idea that there was this much involved with paver sealing and how much there is. Objective as a teacher and as coaches and as part of Team Trident, Lonnie, myself, Martin, Danielle, Brad, all of us, our goal is for you to walk out at the end and say, but I can do that. And if you can say that at the end of one of our trainings, then that means that we did our job, and that's our goal. But I can do that. I can do that. And you can. If I, knucklehead down here in Florida, can seal pavers, you guys can do the same. So let's go up in here and let's take a look at this nasty Eric Morehouse job here on August 10th. Let's hear it. Who's done cleaning like this before and what products? Plain and simple. Tidal Wave. Tidal Wave gel. Take Tidal Wave gel, roll it on there, let it sit, take it off. Nice medium pressure. It'll come off. I mean, we could go into the world graffiti remover and everything else like that. Basically, it's paint. I can tell you that Tidal Wave gel, especially because it's a vertical surface, so I want to roll it on there, and going to come off like butter. You're going to love it. So get into that Tidal Wave gel and get it all nice and just roll it on there, and then you'll be able to take it right off. It's a pretty easy question that was there. All right. David Vespa reaching out to see if anybody was interested in a paver stripping job. I think a couple of people reached in there. You're going to hear my dog in the background. What? I can't take you out right now. I'm sorry. I'm very busy. I know. And it's raining again in Florida. It's raining. Well, at least at my house. Probably across the street it's not raining, but at least at my house it's raining. All right. What else do we have here? Let's see here. All right. Looks like Jason Thornton was looking for some advice on how to strip off a sealer that's there. Basically, Tidal Wave gel, and Tidal Wave spray is what we promote a lot in this area and everywhere. It will take off water bases, solvent bases, paint. It's just a fantastic stripper that's there, and basically it will take off the that sealer that you've got on here. Boy, it really. Let's look at these. What? I'm very busy. Can someone come get Allie, please? Thank you. Um, all right. Yeah, this is this is juicy here. Look at these. Let's see. Okay. Well, I'm sure you're going to make it turn out fantastic there. There's no doubt about that. Jason Thornton doing some great work over in that Orlando area. Boy, he really is just pounding the work that's there. So, two friends and I posted up a picture here of some roof. Let me take a look and see what we got here. Some roof cleaning. Not a lot of comments on that, but at least it was fun to share. You know, the cleaning, the before and after. Looks great. Looks really good. Obviously, need to make sure that you um, keep an eye on the runoff with that water that's there. But looks like you don't have to really worry about frying the bushes because they look like they're already fried from the distance up here. But down at the bottom, I mean, the top looks like they're already been kind of burnt. But it may just be the bush that's there. But I'm seeing a little bit of green. But great job there, two friends and I. Here we are talking about one of the trainings that I've got going on in Tampa, the Tampa Intensive Training. It's set there at Mugros, up in the Holiday area there. What's really cool about this training, which I'm really excited about, other than the chimeneas that are there and evidently a bar, there's one, two, three, four, five, six different pavers, different types of pavers and joints that are here, and we're going to seal this whole pad. So we're going to do some really unique stuff where we're going to use different colored sands in different color areas. So you're going to be able to see like the tan in one area. We're going to use platinum in another area. We're going to use some of the new resin wet sand. That's something that we're starting to talk a little bit more about, which is our reactive resin joint sand system. We have three different colors there. This is a full discussion that we're going to have probably sometime here real soon. But basically, it's polymeric sand that you wet sand in. The difference between our sand and anyone else's sand is that, you know, inside this group knows we have the best sand. So, but all jokes aside, one of the biggest reasons why our sand is successful is that we rated for joints from 1/8 of an inch to 1 1/4 inch. So when you look at coverage and you look at joint size, also remember that's for new installs. When you see on the bag of the joint sand and on the sands that's for new installation, right? So you're looking at one of the pails of this, which is about 55 pounds of sand that's there, is going to do on average for restoration around 300 to 400 square feet per pail. This is a sand that you're going to wet sand in. We're going to have videos that are in. This is one of the pails. Here's Pebble. So we'll be able to provide the advantages of polymeric sand in a 2-day process. You'll be able to clean, sand, come back the next day, which means that your sealer is going to go considerably further. So we'll have more discussions about that here very, very shortly. All right. We had, what was that, August the 11th? Only a couple of days back here. We had 44 new members so far that week. There's a list of them that are on here. Very hard to screen all these people. It doesn't mean that a couple don't slip through, but for the most part, we definitely are screening them as much as we possibly can. And then if something doesn't make sense, we kick them out. All right. Here I am hanging out with, let's see if I can turn that on. Is there volume? I don't know if you guys can hear it or not, but I can't hear it. But here I am working with Mickey Brenner. Where's he at? Is he hiding? Maybe I'm not talking about that right now. Where is this? Who'd that be? I know there's some videos of Mickey in here. Um, oh, I don't need that there. I need it here. No? I guess maybe I never turned the camera around, but anyway. It's supposed to be a video of me hanging out with Mickey there. Um, so we're gonna talk about. We have a new sales manager that's going to be working in the Mid Atlantic region. Um, Brad is someone that we've been talking to now for over, I would say, almost 4 or 5 months now. And he worked for Hendricks BMW up in Charlotte, and we knew that he was one of the number one sales reps in that area, or for that division of car sales and maintenance that was there. And so I reached out to Brad and said, "Hey, would you be interested in maybe learning something?" And he said yes. So over the period of time, and on this last Monday, he flew in. John Poltney flew in too, which is our vice president of the company, and we did some intensive training over Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then Thursday and Friday we were out in the field. So Brad is going lives outside of Charlotte, and it's going to be servicing the North Carolina, South Carolina, Virginia, the northern part of Georgia, so kind of like that Blue Ridge area, Georgia, and eastern Tennessee. So that's going to be his territory that he's going to be going after and supporting and educating. And just like a lot of people, is he just getting started? Absolutely. But I can tell you, even after the first couple of days, when we were showing up to jobs, he was picking up things quickly and saying, this is what we need to be doing, and this is the step that needs to be going, and already problem solving. So you're going to be amazed how quick he's going to be up and running. So next week, back in Charlotte, Lonnie is going to be in town with him this next week. And then I'm going up to Charlotte the following on Tuesday morning and staying all that week and coming back on Saturday. So we're going to be doing the training there. After that, he's going to have a week to himself, and then going to be going to Virginia. So we're really excited about having Brad on board. You guys are going to love him. He's just going to have great presence and very detail oriented, but more importantly, he's going to be there to be able to help you and have someone in that problem solve and make you successful. What we got here? I think Ron Musgraves posted in here a good video. I did watch this. It was good with Jerry talking about safety, and not too many people talk about safety as much, and we just kind of just get by. But boy, is it important to know that those safety procedures and protocols that are there. So, all right. Then we're going to go up into here, and this is the big job that Mickey and I worked on here. This was a couple of days ago. Rob Harris and Mickey worked on this big, huge job up in Tampa. Cleaned it, sanded it, sealed it with Cat 5, and you can see the beginning to the end. What I can tell you is that while we were there, the homeowner that was next door came over and said, "Give me a quote." Unbeknownst to that homeowner that I was there, and I sealed that driveway like 5 years ago. So it was fun to kind of watch him come over, and of course I was like, yeah, have you ever had this sealed before or anything else? And he said, "Oh yeah, 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 I did, but it's been a long time ago." What was really interesting though was that when Mickey went around to the back, he said the pool deck actually looks very good. It's covered. It's a nice pool deck, but I sealed that with 8700, which is also Tsunami on the Trident names that are there. But boy, these pictures really just do not really quite do it justice. Never really does, but but the pictures were phenomenal. When you look at what we were looking at beforehand, as far as color enhancement, and I know that they were doing some paver repair down on the end, some big lifting pavers that were there. But it was the final product that was there. They used gray sand as well as on the back of the job itself. There was a big pool deck that was there. So what do we have here? Oh, same picture. Wet sanding with Rob Harris. That was a lot of fun. I wanted to. You can see this video here of Rob doing some wet sanding and cleaning up those areas and making sure that dropping that sand into place. And look at this, boy, just moving that sand along. Isn't that great? So it was fun to show Brad the process of wet sanding, and as you can see, just pulling that sand down those joints and getting them to the right level, cleaning them up, and then coming back. And as you can see, I zoomed in. I mean, there's no question that you're going to get great sand lines when it comes down to the wet sanding guru Rob. And Rob loves it when we talk great about him. He's probably one of the most humble people that I know, and so he hates it when he gets complimented. But there's no doubt about it. He does phenomenal work. And you can see, look at that sand, right exactly where it's supposed to be. It's perfect. He's not a bad looking dude either. See, look at man. He's amazing. There we go. Moving that sand out, pulling it down. There's Brad. Beautiful Trident truck. All right. Let's go down here to the next stage here. We're almost done. I don't think we're far. Okay. This has kind of been a big buzz going on here. I'm actually going to be bringing one of these up to Charlotte. So we've got Mike, and Mike has been really focused in on a mission. And we believe that this mission is something that can be shared and duplicated and make sense. A lot of people want to save their money based on how much they charge and how much they buy product, and they'll cut pennies and they'll cut pennies and they'll step over dollars to save nickels, right? Mike's concept is that if I can increase my efficiency, if I can make sure that when I go and clean a driveway, it's as clean as it can be, but as quick as it can be, I can increase my profit margins, but I can also increase the efficiency, which allows me to be able to charge a little bit less by still providing high quality, but because I'm more efficient, we can get it done and save time on labor. So Mike has these tornado bars. And if you guys have not seen these things in action, they are built not just a little bit differently, but a lot differently. And one of the things that was a really cool was this video right here. Let me see if I can get it to play. This video right here. Gonna go play. Here we go. This is two side by side tests with 10 gallons each. Two identical machines moving at the exact same speed, exact same rate. And you can see the zebra striping going on. Now, I get it, down the middle, that's where the surface cleaners were, but you can see the swirl marks that are happening here just because of the speed and how it cleans. So Mike's going to be at, here's the tornado bar right here. Um, this out here. He also has the Beast, the big riding cleaners, and been doing very, very well with that. But I'm going to have one of these at each one of my trainings so that you can see the efficiency of that surface cleaner that's there. But make sure you get together with Mike. He's going to be at the Huge next week. I know Mark Pitts went over there um, to work with him this last week. What else do we have here? Oh, the sanding machine. I haven't really had a chance to dive into this a whole lot, but it's a really cool sanding machine. Just to be able to spread out sand and get sand into the joints a whole lot quicker and a lot faster. It looks pretty big, but it's a cool machine. Again, I don't know a whole lot about what it's doing there. I don't know if it's actually compacting. I don't know if it vibrates enough to kind of compact as it's going, or does that machine stay pretty settled that's there. But especially with polymeric sand being able to compact. Now with the new wet sand, you don't have to compact because it kind of basically does that with the RJS 1500 sand. All right. There's a little bit. There it is again. There's good old Martin right there. Here we go. We're going to talk about that event because I know he posted up some pictures. Are the pictures here? Or were they? I know he posted them. Here we go. Found it. Then I'm going to go back to the other one that I skipped over there. This was about 18 hours ago. And so Martin went and did a cleaning, sanding, and sealing. We did this exact same area, but we wanted to show the process of stripping. So Martin went and stripped off the sealer that we did on this one little small area that was there so that he could show the process of stripping, cleaning, sanding, and sealing. And you can see that it's covered here from the night before. So Martin went by, put on some tidal wave gel, let it dwell overnight. Next day, took off the old sealer, and then went through the process of, you can see right here, that's got the gel down on it, eaten away. Taking off the old sealer with the turbo tip. A nice little turnout. Whoop. And then came over to another area of this homeowner's house and then started to do some sealing that was there. Just gonna see if we got some better looking pictures. There we go, hanging out, blowing and rolling out that excess area, and I know that it turned out phenomenal, for sure. Let's see here. Okay, this was posted about 2 hours ago about Lance Clark here, and he was saying there was 2 coats of D1 on these pavers. Now, understanding that D1 is our highest sheen, our highest concentration that's there that we suggest, and saying that they're slick now. Been down for about 4 months and soaking up the sealer on the first coat, light top coat after that. Anyone had issues with the style of paver. So, as Phil mentioned in here, that every hardscape is different, and yes, you should be offering that if they have a concern about being slippery, that they could add some grip resistance to it. Unfortunately, slipperiness is in the eyes of the beholder. So, what may not be slippery to you is an ice skating rink to them. That's why we try very hard to not to produce as much as high of a sheen. No doubt about it. The higher the sheen, the higher the problems. So the more that you're out there talking about how high of a sheen and how glossy and how sheen and I'm going to make it look like an ice skating rink and all those different kinds of things, the higher the sheen, the higher the problems. Whether it be from slipperiness, whether or not you're not using a good breathable sealer, can trap efflorescence, trap moisture, do all kinds of stuff, peel, flake, sun, some flakiness, turn yellow. Now, I'm not talking about our sealers, and I'm not talking about anybody else's sealer, but especially down here in Florida, we see these people that are constantly wanting the highest sheen, highest shine possible, and the higher the sheen, I want it to look like a like an ice skating rink, and I want it to be extremely shiny, but I don't want it to be slippery, right? So the as Steve pointed out here, it's best to stick with the D2 ratio and and add more coats if necessary, but also communicating with your customer that, what is it that you're looking for, using that sealer triangle where we talk about the difference between with stabilization and enhancement, as well as with the sheen, and finding out the level of sheen that they're looking for. When they start talking about high sheen, and you really want to make sure that you focus in to explain at that point the advantages and disadvantages. Yes, it's going to be shiny, it's going to be glossy, fantastic whenever it all gets done, but there's a possibility that it could be very slippery. Well, I don't want it to be slippery. Then that opens up the option of being able to add a grip additive to it. That doesn't mean that it's not going to still be slippery, but you're increasing your but not being slippery by adding that slip additive into it. So I agree, with Steve. I feel like our D2 solution, which means that the Cat 5 makes 20 gallons, is a great place for most people to start. And if you need a little bit more sheen, a little bit more shine, give it time between and give it a second coat. All right. What else do we have here? I think that's the video. I want to go back to this one here because we kind of just skimmed over it. Jack Jordan posted up. Anyone know what this whiteness is? Is it hazing? The backstory. This is important here. A customer had another contractor install sand, and it failed him 3 times. He overfilled the joints, and the sand remained soft after each attempt. Makes me think that there's some kind of drainage problem for sure. He gave up. He didn't look like he knew what he was doing. He came to clean the joints. So when I hear things of he overfilled the joints, it's not the story that's being told. It's the story that's not being told, right? Not because Jack's leaving that out there. What I'm saying is that there's things that aren't being said. Like, for instance, 3 pictures are shown below. He overfilled the joints and the sand remained soft after each attempt. So that means that there's a huge dampness issue that's there. So there's a high probability that when that person did that and we came to clean out the joints and saw some white and treated it, now it's back and it's worse, right? So you're probably also dealing with some efflorescence. The reason why I'm pointing certain things out is because you can look right here. You have a patio that has a mulch bed that's right here, right? You've got bushes that are right here. Odds are you've got some pretty bad drainage that's there. Also, what I'm looking for is specifically, if I can zoom in here, you see these round areas? Those are pot marks. There's pots, there's plants that are there. This isn't a naturally growing efflorescence. This isn't natural, right? Efflorescence doesn't grow in straight lines. So these are the things that I'm looking for when I'm looking at these pictures of what are some things that are unnatural, right? So let's look in this area right here. You can see the little leaf to the left here, and I'm going to show you another example. To the top right of that, you're going to see a brick. It's gray. It's right at the edge of where that where the edge of the shadow is, and you can see a definitive line that's there. Do you see those definitive lines that are in that area? Efflorescence doesn't grow in definitive lines. So what it looks like to me is that someone has put down polymeric sand prior. This is my hypothesis. They put it down. It didn't work. They took it out. When they did, they used a turbo tip. They hazed it the first time. Then they came back to take it out again, and it hazed again. I'm just going by the information that was given to me that this was done 3 times. Now, if I look at this picture and I go through here and I look at these pictures here, you can specifically see the definitive lines that are here, as if a turbo tip has been cleaning out the joints, right? So I would suggest the first thing is that if the white's coming off with turbo tipping the edges, then the white would come off if you turbo tip the rest of the paver. Just makes sense, right? Because you're looking at where are those lines at. Majority of them are in the middle of the paver where you're cleaning around. Now, as we start to get up into this area here, you can see that around those high edges where they've been stacked, in those areas around the top, if it was a stacking issue, it would be consistent around all of the pavers. But because some of them are on the outside and not on the inside, and some of them are on the inside, there's inconsistencies with that story. So let's take a look at this here. Very good. So this is something that Jack did very well by sending us a picture not only with it dry, but also with it wet. So when we zoom in here, you can see that this little stacked area right in the middle could be from where they're sitting on top of each other, or there's efflorescence that's coming through. So now what I would suggest doing is doing 2 things. One is I would try a strong efflow remover on one of the bricks, go through the 3-stage process, clean out that, not the 1, 2, 3 cleaning wipe out, but the getting the efflorescence out and giving that a shot to see if it works there. What it really looks like to me is that we've got some kind of paver haze, is what it looks like to me, because of those things that I had pointed out. Will you be able to get all of it out? They're not gonna look brand new once you get done cleaning with them, but I would suggest running a super hot bath of efflow cleaner onto it and give it a scrub, give it really good dwell time. Don't let it dry out, but I would probably run a downstream it straight out of the pail that's there and let it dwell until the foaming collapses. Put it on again, and on the 3rd time, give it a scrub with a nylon brush. Maybe like a 1-inch brush. That'll take you about 6.5 days to get done with that. No, a nice big broom will be good too, but give it a good brush so that you're breaking the bond of the efflow that's there. See, right here. The thing is that when I look at this and you look at the white, the question is why is it on the squares and not the rectangles, right? Specifically, why do we have them on these squares, right? So sealer and haze does not determine where it wants to work, and that defined. So when I see efflorescence that is coming on, and I see that it's on one brick, but it's not on the next brick, or it's only half of the brick, it doesn't make a decision to work in certain areas. So kind of just problem solving with some of that. All right. Let's go back. I think we're almost done here. There was the training again. There was the slipperiness thing that we talked about. Here we are live. I think that's it. We did it. So, right under an hour. So, if you guys are joining with us here live, there's a few people that are online. And we just saw that Christina said, thank you for your time and support. We'll see you at the training class in Fort Myers. So, we're going to see you there. So, really looking forward to it. Let me go back to this here. If you haven't gone to the Trident Protects Contractors Only, Trident Protects T3 University, right here, make sure you get on there, get registered for one of the trainings that are coming up, and join us there and sign up for an account. So, other than that, I'm going to dip out of here, and we want to thank our sponsor today, which is Fresca Soda Water. That's what I'm drinking. It's delicious. And next week, as I'm going to North Carolina, I'll be stacking up half my truck with Bucky Nuggets. And so if you want to find out where I'm at, just find the trail of Bucky Nuggets. Anyway, hope you guys have a great day. This has been fun. I know it's just me sitting here rambling and talking, but I do appreciate you guys joining in. We are going to save this. And that way you can look at it. But if you haven't joined into the group, Trident protects contractors only. Please come join and do so. So I will talk to you guys soon. Go Team Trident.